from amidst the chaos. I'm so excited to be back with you today for another Christmas tutorial. I'm going to be doing how to make a fresh Christmas planter. Before we start, let's talk about what we have. We have, first of all, I'm using an old planter because I added a little bit of extra potting soil. And I've also added a bit of water to it. That's why I have just this cloth underneath, just in case it were to leak out. You want to make sure your soil is freshly watered, just so that your branches aren't going to dry out over the Christmas season. I have 3 birch branches here that we cut them to the height that we wanted. Then I have here some curly willow. So we're gonna be using that at the very end, and we're gonna cut it down and just kind of put it in where we like. Let's talk about the Christmas greens that we have. So I have 3 different kinds. I've got some western cedar. I have as well some white pine. And then my favorite are these, and it's hemlock. And I just think these are so pretty and they smell amazing. I have a couple of tools here. I'll be honest, these are my husband's. I have no clue what they're called. I call them nippers. Is that the right word? I have no idea. Nippers and these crazy scissors, but they're really good for cutting through thicker things like branches. I also have some pine cones. They were just brown, and so last night I painted them with just some white acrylic paint, and I just brushed it really on the outsides just to give it a snowy look. I also have a couple of gold leaves. I glued them onto one of these wooden skewers that you would use in your cooking. So I have 4 of those. And then at the very end, I have 3 beautiful mercury ball ornaments. And again, I just took off the hooks and I put through these skewers. We're gonna add those at the very, very end. I've gone ahead and I put in my 3 birch branches already. I'll be honest, it was a little tricky, so I had to kind of dig down a little bit and put in some extra soil around to try to make them secure. You're gonna wanna do it in 3s. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. It's always best in decorating the rule of odd numbers. So 3, 5, 7, you never want to decorate in pairs. So I did 3, I did varying heights, and I did it to kind of the back third of the pot because I want it to be at the back. Now that we've done that, we're gonna start with our droopier branches, the ones that are gonna hang more to the outside, and you're gonna start by going along the edges. Now you wanna make sure that you do a fresh cut with every single branch. So I'm just gonna do a fresh cut here, and it just helps for the branches to retain some of that moisture that you're putting in. So start putting it in. Try and get it as far down as you can. You know, I'm gonna cut this one just a little more, so it's not going down as far as I want it. I'm gonna have to put it back a little because it is so droopy. So when you get to like a piece like this, you're not just gonna wanna put that whole piece in. This is a smaller planter. If you had bigger ones, you could just use a tall piece like this. What I'm gonna do with this one is I'm gonna cut it. So I'm gonna use these nippers. Someone let me know in the comments below what these are called, if they're actually nippers or not. I'm sure my husband will tell me when he gets home and watches the video. All right, and we're not gonna waste this. We're gonna use these other places. And so you can kind of just fit this in. Don't waste anything. There's no need for waste here. So we're gonna wanna start standing some up in the back. So this is a nice straight piece. It's not really droopy. So these will be great for back here with our birch branches. really important here is nothing is set in stone. When you do it, if it doesn't look good, it's okay. You can pull it out like I just did, put it back in. Don't be afraid to play around with this, even once you've already set your pieces in. Okay, I'm gonna move on now to the Western cedar. Pause just for a moment to answer this call. We're back. It was the hubby calling. And guess what? These aren't called nippers. They are called pliers, apparently. I think nippers is a cuter word, so we'll just stick with nippers if you're okay with that. So let's get back to putting in our cedar into the planter. Move on to our hemlock. These are really big branches, and so you're going to want to make sure that you trim them up a little bit, and you're going to want to try to get some of the greens at the bottom off. So use your scissors or your nippers to I really thought they were called nippers. What are nippers? Anyways. Next, I want to add in these. And we're going to add in our Christmas balls. Okay, I like the way that looks. Finally, we're going to come in and add our curly willow. And for me, I kind of like having them in the back. And there you have it. I just wanted to show you that I brought the planter outside and I placed it in a vintage paint crate, and it actually wasn't tall enough, so I actually have an old paint can propping it up in the bottom. That is what it looks like. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you here again.